We begin at 9 o'clock with breaking news. A mass shooting at the Cascade Mall in Burlington. The State Patrol is reporting 4 people have been killed.
Troopers say the gunman is still on the loose, last seen going toward I-5. This all happening at the Cascade Mall in Burlington. Now, it's located right along the interstate. The mall has a movie theater, and it is a popular place on a Friday night.
This right here is some of the first video shot at that scene. Police locked down many stores in the mall and streets in that area, telling people to shelter in place. And here's a map of the mall from the mall's website. We're still waiting on confirmation about where inside that mall the shooting happened. Let's get you right out to that scene.
Nadia Crow is live in Burlington with the very latest. So, Nadia, what are you learning there?
Well, details are still coming in, and we want to get right to Washington State Patrol Sergeant Mark Francis. We're learning more about the 4 people who are now confirmed dead. What can you tell us?
So there are 4, and they are located inside the Macy's here in the mall.
So the Macy's mall, the Macy's part of the mall that is right behind us. Can you back us up to what we know about the shooter or shooters who came in?
So this all happened just before 7 o'clock tonight. Last description on the shooter was that he was leaving from the mall, heading west towards I-5. He was described as a Hispanic male wearing gray. Was the description given to us. As far as weapon used or motive, that's what we're still trying to figure out right now.
Inside the mall, there were hundreds of people that were hiding. What's the situation with people in the mall? Where are they now?
So originally our hope was to get EMS in there. Now we've got to clear the entire building right now before we can send EMS in. So that's where we're at now, trying to clear this entire mall.
4 people confirmed dead. What do we know about injuries?
Don't have any updates on injuries yet.
And where are those people going right now?
The
survivors.
Yeah, survivors are going just across the road here at His Place Church. Encourage any family members, friends, loved ones to meet them there at His Place.
This is a very chaotic scene. It's people are now being moved away. We saw people coming out, people just looking and watching. What are your words tonight for people who live in the area or who may have known someone who was inside?
Those in the area, we're still looking for the shooter, so we don't need you here milling about. Stay in your house, stay secure. If you see something suspicious, say something. For those who are inside the mall, we want to talk to you. We want to get everything. Obviously, we have to go through a lot of people, but definitely we need to investigate this as thoroughly as we can, and we will be reaching out to talk to you if we haven't already.
This is something that we're seeing happening, unfortunately, nationally, but you guys have been preparing for these active shooter situations.
Right. Yeah, this last calendar year, the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office has been putting on active shooter training that I know us as the Washington State Patrol have been taking part in.
There are some people who say they are eyewitnesses. What happens to those people who were inside, who believe they saw everything that happened?
Again, the team of detectives comprised of the SMART team. It's an interjurisdiction here in Skagit County. They'll be going through and they'll be interviewing. They'll be getting all the information they can out of the witnesses.
We know that there were mall sweeps that happened, especially when there were people inside hiding, sheltering in place. What's the process from here on out?
So secure the building, investigate, and at the same time trying to track down the shooter or shooters.
There's still a lot of activity around here, a lot of police agencies. How are we going to track down that shooter who seemed to have fled on foot?
Hopefully we're getting phone calls, we're getting good tips, and we've got our officers going back and forth tracking down all these leads.
We hear choppers above us. Who's all out looking for this suspect?
I've seen federal, I've seen state, I've seen tribal, I've seen county and city, so absolutely everyone you can think of.
For people watching at home that fear this could happen to them, this could be in their neighborhood, this is a small town mall, what's your message to them?
You know, we live in precarious times. Just stay aware, stay cognizant of your surroundings, and be a fighter. If something like this happens to you, play the win game. Unfortunately, we live in a society where you got to think about this thing possibly happening to you, and my message is to be a fighter.
Sergeant Mark Francis with Washington State Patrol, thank you so much for talking with us. We are right outside Cascade Mall, where we did just confirm there are 4 people who were confirmed dead inside. At least there is one person, one suspect that police are looking for right now. Multiple agencies here are on scene. Now, there were hundreds of people inside the mall when this all happened. Those people were told to shelter in place. They were told to hide, to find some place of security or safety. With all of this going on, we're told all of those people are now outside of the mall. They've been loaded up on buses, taken to a nearby church. That's where they're saying if you're a family or a friend, you're interested in finding someone who has been involved, who is inside the Cascade Mall, that's where you can find them. Those details are on our website at Q13FOX.com. Now, we also spoke with a woman whose daughter was inside. She was just frantic to try to find her daughter. Luckily, she just received word just before this newscast that she did hear from her daughter that she is out safely tonight. But again, there are at least 4 families that have lost their loved ones here at Cascade Mall. And as more information comes in and there are details that are coming in by the moment, we will bring them to you throughout this newscast. Reporting live from Burlington, Nadia Crow, Q13 News.
Nadia, I know you just arrived on that scene, but set the scene for us if you could. We can see the emergency lights behind you, but as you drove into the mall, what did it look like? Were streets shut down? What were you seeing as you arrived?
Well, as we came off of I-5, you started to see a lot of police activity. Now, we're told that the suspect fled on foot, left the mall, and I-5 is very close. There's just an exit that takes you right here to the mall. So you saw police officers, their different cars. You saw sheriff's deputies. You saw as many different agencies as you can imagine, all out here looking. Above me, I don't know if you can hear it, but there are choppers. Those are police choppers that are looking for the suspect. It is very dark out here right now. If someone has fled on foot, it would be hard to see them, but they've gotten the word out largely through social media at this point to let people know what's happening here. And there are people who are calling the police station, calling 911, giving them tips, letting them know what's happening right now. They're trying to verify all of that information. Now, as we got off I-5, made our way onto the area, to the parking lot by the Cascade Mall, we're seeing a lot of activity at the Macy's right behind me, at the Chuck E. Cheese behind me. At the Macy's is where those people were shot. That's where we're seeing the most police activity. We also saw a lot of those survivors coming out, waiting here, getting on those buses, loaded up to head to the church. And that's when we started to see family and friends come out here. They were asked not to do so, but as you can imagine, they're going through so much right now, knowing that someone they love was inside when a shooting happened. The 4 people who were confirmed dead, we don't know their names, we don't have their identities. So the people here who are looking for their family members are frantic right now. So what we're being told is that we have to move from this area. They're trying to secure the area. We're surrounded by police cars. They're asking everyone to push back, move back so that they can finish their investigation, which, as you can imagine, is ongoing. And of course, they're still looking for that suspect or suspects at the time. The description of that person, possibly a Hispanic male in a gray shirt, very, very vague description, but they are searching for that person at this time. This is an active scene. So many things are going on. And by the moment, as I mentioned, we are learning more details about what's happening here.
And Nadia, I know they're asking you to move, so we're going to keep this brief, but have you seen anyone come out of the mall who looks to be a shopper in the time you've been there?
By the time we got here, most of the people were already outside. We did see EMTs that were out there. They weren't treating anyone. We were told that there weren't any other injuries, just the 4 people who unfortunately lost their lives here tonight. We did see people who were headed onto the bus. Those people were inside, whether they were shoppers or they worked there. They were loaded onto that bus and moved to another location, to a church that is nearby. So we didn't see anyone coming out with their hands up like we've seen in other situations where we've seen mass shootings across the nation, but we did see people coming out frantic, some crying, heading into the bus, and then of course their loved ones trying to find them that showed up here as well.
A tragic night at the Cascade Mall in Burlington. Okay, Nadia, you move, you get reestablished. We'll come back to you when we can.